Welcome to what will probably be one of the loudest recordings I've ever made. So we're going to go over the geometry practice test. In a better setting, I would have done this all by myself. However, that setting didn't work. So let's start with question 1. Question 1 says, the net of a cylinder is shown below. What is the approximate lateral surface area of the cylinder represented by the net? Be sure you pay attention to the question asked. The question is about lateral surface area, not total. So I'm going to look at my net. The first thing I know is I don't want diameter. Diameter is all the way across the circle. I only want radius, which is half a circle. So the radius is half of 7 meters, or 3.5 meters. So I'm going to look at my sheet and find my formula for the lateral surface area, not the total, of a cylinder. And the formula says that S equals 2 pi r h. So 2 times pi times the radius times the height. Now remember, the height of your prism, or sorry, your cylinder, is the very long one and not connected to the two circle spaces. So I'll rewrite it. 2 times 3.14 times the radius, which we found was 3.15 or 3.5, times the height, which is 9. And if I had brought myself a calculator over here, this would have been easier. So, typing this in my calculator, I've got giggles going on in the background. Typing this in my calculator, I get 2, see if I can see that, times 3.14 times 3.5 times 9, I hit enter, that gives me 197.82, or approximately 198 with rounding. That's question 1. Let's look at question 2. Question 2 says a cone-shaped paper cup is 3.5 inches high and has a radius of 1.2 inches. What is its volume to the nearest hundredth? So I'm looking through here. First of all, make your life easier. Draw yourself a cone. And the cone doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to be functional. I've got a radius and I've got a height. So my radius is 1.2 inches. And my height is 3.5 inches. And I'm looking for volume. So I go to my sheet and I find that the volume of a cone is 1/3. Volume of a cone is 1/3 big B, which is area of the base, times the height. So do yourself a favor, break out big B, the area of the base. So volume equals 1/3. The base of this is that circle. Remember, the circle is always the base. So the base, the formula for the area of a circle is pi r squared. And then we bring back the h. Y'all. Control. So now that I've got the full formula, I can fill in parts that I'm missing. So volume equals 1/3 of pi, which is 3.14. Times the radius squared. I said the radius is 1.2 inches squared, times the height, which is 3.5. Now put that all in the calculator. So 1 divided by 3 times 3.14 times 1.2 squared times 3.5. I hit enter. You'll notice the equation looks exactly like it should. I get 5.2752. And since this was one of those that says, what is its volume to the nearest hundred? It's right there, 5.28, or B. All right, let's look at number 3. Number 3 says, what is the side length? So it just wants one side, one length, of a cube that has a total surface area of 96 square centimeters. We know a cube is made of 6 squares, all attached together. So a cube, if I draw that shape, there's a couple ways to attack this one. We're going to go with the easiest way I know, which is draw the shape. I've got a cube. Now, I know that the total area of this cube is 96 centimeters squared. Now, I also know that a cube is made of 6 individual squares. There are 6 sides to a cube. So if 96 square inches or cubic centimeters is the total surface area of this cube, how do I find the surface area of just one of those sides? Well, I divide 96 by 6. And that gets me with an area of 16 centimeters squared. So now I'm in a square. And I know that the sides of the square are exact same length, or if they're unknown, x is everything. And the area of a rectangle is length times width. And I hate base times height, so you're going to hear me keep doing that. Since I know what area is 16, and that equals length, which is x, times width, which was x. Together, they're x squared. Now, I can put this in a calculator, but I don't have to, because I can do square root of both sides. So, square root of x squared is x, and square root of 16, you better know from the door, is 4. So, my side lengths are 4. All right, let's look at number 4. Number 4 is a little longer than the rest. It's probably the longest problem out there.
Hey, can I give you these?
Shh. Just one. Put it back there. So I've got a cylinder. It's got a radius of 13 feet and a height of 28 feet. Which statement about the cylinder is not true? First of all, I'm going to draw me a cylinder, because it makes everything so much easier. So I draw my cylinder. It says my radius, which is what I want, is 13 feet. Make sure I'm still writing on that. And my height is 28 feet. So it's a pretty big size cylinder. So now it's going to ask me a bunch of things, and realistically they're all leading together. So the first question is one we really haven't talked about. It's circumference. It says the circumference is about 82 feet. I'm looking for the one that's not true. So to find circumference, go to your yellow sheet. It'll say circumference equals, so C equals 2 times pi times r. Well, I have a radius, and I know what pi is. So I'll get 2 times 3.14 times the radius, which is 13. So 2 times 3.14 times the radius, which is 13, and I end up with 81.64, or if I round it, about 82 feet. So A is good. It says the area of one base is about 531 square feet. Well, area of the base, remember the base is always the circle. To find the area of a circle equals pi r squared. Well, I know what pi is. It's 3.14 times r, which I've got is 13 squared. I type that in. I get 3.14 times 13 squared. And I come up with 530.66, or approximately 531 if I round up. So that one's good. Let's go to the last one. This one says the lateral surface area is about 2,286 square feet. So lateral surface area, if we go to find the formula, lateral is perimeter. Oh, sorry, it's not perimeter. I'm on the wrong figure there. The lateral surface area, I'm looking right there, is 2 times pi times r, which is circumference, times h. So I already found circumference, right? I found it was about 82 feet. So realistically, I'm already doing part of the work. So there's 82 times the height is 28. So 82 times 28 is 2296, which, oh, 2296, I did something wrong. Oh, I remember, I rounded already. My apology, 81.64 was, and that gets me in trouble, times 28, and that equals approximately 285.86. So, up here, that's where I made my mistake. I used a rounded figure. 81.64, I'm a little flustered right now, and I apologize. And that's approximately 2,286. So this one must be true, and I can check that, because total surface area equals lateral area plus 2 times the base. And if you check, you'll find that that one's not true, so that is the correct answer. Can I help you? Yes. Hurry up, because I'm making a movie.
Sorry, did I turn in 6.2.1 area?
I don't know, did you?
May I turn into...
Please.
What?
I don't know if you did or not. I can't check right now because I'm making a movie.
Sorry.
That's right. You're forever, but nobody will listen to it, so you're good.
Okay, can I come in later? Because I need to know if I
but
turned it in.
I don't know if you turned it in or not. It's not due till tomorrow. All right, let's look at the last one. The next one's a little tricky only because they picked a box. So they said the fabric storage box below is shaped like a rectangular prism with an open top. That means that you don't have to do 2 times the base. It'll just be 1 times the base. How much fabric is needed to cover the exterior of the box? So normally, we would get total surface area of a prism would be surface area equals perimeter times height plus 2 times the area of the base. But we've only got 1 base. We're not doing the top, so it's just base. So perimeter, remember, the easiest way to do this is complete it and walk your perimeter. 36 plus 23 plus 36 plus 23. And if you think I know that offhand, you're silly. 36 times 2 plus 23 times 2. That's 118. So perimeter is 118 times the height, which is 18, plus the area of the base. The area of the base is length times width, or 36 times 23. And I can type this all in at once. I see a lot of you that are doing it like one thing at a time. You don't have to. You can type it all in at once. So I get 118 times 18 plus 36 times 23. And I get 2952, which just happens to match number C perfectly. Life's pretty good. Let's flip this over and do the next questions. So question 6 says, what is the total surface area of the triangular prism shown? Remember, triangular prism means the triangle is always the base. Do yourself a favor, shade your base so you'll know what it is. So the formula for the area of a prism, we just did it. So surface area equals perimeter times height plus 2 times the area of the base. Well, perimeter, we're walking around this triangle. So 9 plus 15, that's 24, plus 12 is 36, times the height, and we're talking height of the prism, not height of the triangle now. Height of the prism is 10, plus 2 times the area of a base. Well, the area of a triangle, so the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So 2 times 1/2 times base. Anywhere you got the right angle, you can use either side. So I'm going to go with 9 as my base and 12 is my height. All I got to do is type this in now. So 36 times 10 times 2. Oh, sorry, that should be plus 2. Plus 2 times 1/2, 1 divided by 2, times 9 times 12. And that gets me 468, which happens to be answer A. All right, moving on. Number 7. A rectangular prism, again, we're looking at rectangular, has a length of 11 millimeters, a width of 5 millimeters. Its height is double its width. What is the total surface area? Well, let's make our life easy. Let's draw ourselves a rectangular prism. Get some labels on it. So I got a lovely rectangular prism. It says its length is 11. Length is 11. Width is 5. And height is double the width. Well, what's 5 times 2? 10. Now, remember, shade the area of your base. Make your life good there. Shade the area of your base. So, now, I need to know what's total surface area. Well, I'm back to my surface area. S equals perimeter times height plus 2 times the area of the base. Go somewhere where you're not going to giggle. So, find the perimeter. It's 5 plus 11 plus 5 plus 11, because I ran all the way around that rectangle in a good perimeter, which gets me a total of 32. And I saw a lot of people make that problem by not laying on their base. Times the height, which is 10, plus 2 times the area of the base. Well, the area of a rectangle is length times width, or 5 times 11. Now I type that in. 32 times 10 plus 2 times 5 times 11. And I get 430, which happens to be answer C. Number 8 required you to do some thinking. It says, I've got 2 cylindrical containers. They have the same total surface area. So the S equals the S here. Surface area of this one equals the surface area of the second one. What is the height of container 2? This is what I want to know, is this H. So the trick here is find the surface area of container 1. So total surface area, and I'm going to put surface area of 1 in Roman numerals equals, this is a cylinder, so surface area of a cylinder equals 2 pi RH, and that's basically 2 times your circumference, or that's your circumference. What's up? Plus 2 times pi r squared, which is our base twice. Remember, the circle is the base. So now I plug in my numbers. 2 times 3.14 times, and we're doing this one, we've got a radius, not a diameter, so it's 16 times the height, which is 30, plus 2 times pi, which is 3.14, times the radius squared, or 16 squared. So now I'm going to get the surface area of 1, and that equals, here we go, there could be a drum roll, but it'd be a long roll. 2 times 3.14 times 16 times 30 plus 2 times 3.14 times 16 squared. Big number, I get 462208. So surface area equals 4622.08. Now, I can do that. I've got this formula. I used it up here. So surface area of 2. Here's where this gets funny. When I get to surface area of 2, I already know the surface area. It's this. So 4622.08 equals the whole formula up, because we know surface area of 2. I'm not even on the board. I'm pointing at it. Sorry. So we know what surface area of 2 is because we know they have the same surface area. So now I can plug the numbers out of this one in to find my missing number, and this comes to using NSolve. So you know it equals 2 times pi, which is 3.14. Sorry, I got to put 3.14 there. 2 times 3.14 times the radius, which is 8 on this second one, we're looking at 2, times the height, which we don't know, plus 2 times 3.14 times the radius, which is 8, squared. And that's a perfect NSolve question. You can work it the long, hard way, or you can use your calculator. So I'm going to type in there menu 3.1, and I'll type everything exactly. 4622.08 equals 2 times 3.14 times 8 times, and I'm going to get out of my bottom, H, plus 2 times 3.14 times 8 squared. And now the important part, remember NSolve, use your comma and tell it what you're trying to find, in this case H, and hit enter. We find that I didn't type 4622. Now I get to retype it all again. Menu 3, well actually there was somebody showed me they could do that. Oh well. I have to retype it because I didn't type 4622. 4622.08 equals.
You can go up twice.
Somebody showed me that, but I don't know how to do it.
You can go up twice and press left once.
2 times, now they give me hints, times 8 times H plus 2 times 3.14 times 8 squared, comma, H. And I get 84. So the height is 84 inches. A little long, but if you do it, it'll pay off. I'd move that all over there again. Let's look at number Let's look at number, what is it? 9 here. Can I help you?
Yes. I got 100.
I don't see work.
There is work.
If I don't see work, it's
That's
not.
all work.
Okay. All right. So number 9. A carpenter refinishes wood furniture at a rate of $9 per square foot. How much does he charge to refinish the exterior of the cedar trunk represented by the rectangular prism below? So first thing I need to know is how many square foot does the cedar trunk have? To do that, I find total surface area. Total surface area is perimeter times height plus 2 times the area of the base. I go my perimeter. Remember, I can do this. Oh, that was a terrible. Go my perimeter here. So 3 plus 1.5 plus 3 plus 1.5 is 9. Times height of 2.3 plus 2 times the area of the base. And the base is length times width, or 2 times 3 times 1.5. Now that's going to give me total surface area, but I'm not quite done there. Make sure that's still on screen. I keep moving off screen. So 9 times 2.3 plus 2 times 3 times 1.5. And I get a total surface area of 29.7 square feet. What I'm going to do is multiply that by that $9. So I'm going to times that by 9 and find out how much he's charging. He's charging $267 and 0.3, but you can't have 0.3 in money. It's got to be 0.30, 30 cents. All right, let's look at number 10. So number 10 says a cylindrical candle has a diameter of 2 inches. So we've got a diameter, which I never want. I always want a radius. So I'm going to break it right now. Diameter is 2. That means radius equals 1 inch. And a height of 8 inches. Its height decreases by 0.5 inches for every hour that it burns. What is the approximate volume of the candle after 4 hours? Well, let's start out with our candle.
Teachers, pardon the interruption. Students are going on a spirit bus. Remember that the spirit bus is going to the Girl Scouts in Colorado City. We'll leave right after school, so get out there. And the boys, the kids going to the boys' game in Coleman, 5:45. Don't be late. Everybody have a great day. Good luck, everybody.
So the radius is 1 inch. It starts out at 8 inches, but it loses something. It loses 0.5 inches for every hour, and it burns for 4 hours. So it loses 0.5 times 4, which happens to be 2. So 8 minus 0.5 times 4 is 6. So its final height at the end of that time is 6 inches. So now we get to the straight up, we need volume. Volume of a cylinder is the area of the base times the height. And the base is always the circle. So area of a circle is pi r squared, pi r squared, and then we got times height. So pi is 3.14 times r squared, and that's 1 squared, times the height is 6. So here goes my handy-dandy calculator. Is somebody standing by? I'll just let him stand there. 3.14 times, I'm not even going to put 1 squared in there because 1 to any power is 1. So times 6. And I end up with a volume of 18.84 inches cubed. 2 more we got going here. You guys start cleaning up. So the last 2 I got going here, that doesn't mean start talking. Last 2, we got the same prism and have 2 questions. So the first one says, what's the volume? Well, the formula for the volume of a prism is area of the base times height. So what we really need to know is what is the base? And the base is this triangle. In the case of a triangular prism, it's always the triangle is the base. So the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height, and then we got to bring this other height, which is the height of the actual prism. So I end up with 1/2 times the base. Look for that right angle. The base is 18 times the height, which is 12, times the height, which is 12. Putting that in my calculator, make sure I still got things on screen. So I've got 1/2 times 18 times 12 times 12. Hey, y'all. So I get a total volume of 1,296 meters cubed. Last question, and this one uses the same one, but now we're talking surface area. So let's look for the formula for surface area of a prism. Hey, in the form, put stuff up. Out here. The formula for the surface area of a prism is surface area equals perimeter times height plus 2 times the base. You really can't stop? So perimeter, I'm going to go around. Remember, the perimeter we're talking about is the perimeter of the base, which in the case of a triangular prism is always the triangle. So 18 plus 15 plus 15, which gets me 48, times the height, and we're talking the height of the prism. Shh, Liam. Times the height of the prism, which is 12, plus 2 times the area of the base. Remember, the base is that triangle. So the area of a triangle is 1/2. So 2 times 1/2 times the base times the height, which is 12. So I'm going to calculate that in there. Hopefully you're still on screen, which you is. So I end up with 48 times 12 plus 2 times 1/2 times 18 times 12. So I get a total of 792 square meters. All right, so hopefully that helped. If it didn't, go back and listen and redo them. Thank you.
Meow.